What's up, y'all? It's your girl Vashti Denise, and we are back with another weekly review of Beyond the Gates. We had a week off, and I had to watch this week, so it's been almost 2 weeks since I've done this. And although I enjoyed the break, I missed y'all, and I missed the show. And this past week was quite informative and pretty juicy. Let's get right into it. Y'all, we have actually gotten somewhere with the sugar water drops. Oh my gosh. We ended this past week with Bill possibly having another stroke. We've been seeing Haley putting these drops in Bill's drinks for months. Okay. She stopped after he had that first health situation because she didn't want it to show up on his blood work when they were doing all of the tests. But once he was cleared, she started back doing it. And apparently, she's been watching him real closely. She gave him a little ring to where she's monitoring his sleep and his levels. And she said that his levels were low. And all of us were like, girl, ain't nothing happening. He might have a little shake in his hand, but that's pretty much it. Well, child, they are finally doing what they supposed to do, okay? He was in the middle of questioning Madison during the deposition of Madison's court case, and it got bad. I mean, he started stumbling over his words. He couldn't put his thoughts together. He was clammy and shaky. And towards the end, he was kind of just checked out. I mean, thankfully, Madison is there. So she's able to kind of like jump into doctor mode and see what's really going on. They didn't confirm that he was having a stroke. Of course, they love to leave us on a cliffhanger. But yeah, I think that's what it is. I think those drops are finally kicking in. And according to Haley's face, it couldn't come any sooner. First of all, why was she wearing that pink red getup in his office? I mean, she's never been professionally correct with her outfits, but dang, girl, you could at least put on black or gray like everybody else. I mean, she is determined to look like the sore thumb in the room. Like Danny would never. I mean, Danny understands, fashion and everything, but she also understands timing and perspective and place. And this was not the place or the time for you to be in no off shoulder pink and white jumpsuit. Like it was too much. It was too much. Was it pink? Was it red? The material was like shiny and ew. Okay, it was too much. Even Caroline wearing white was a lot, but that was just too much. But apparently her efforts are finally paying off. And towards the end of the scene, she's over there freaking out. Oh my God. Please don't let it be another stroke. Please, please, please. While she's side eyeing through her hands like she usually does when she's hugging him and looking menacingly into his chest. Child, Haley ain't fooling nobody, okay? But we gonna see what happened with Bill. The process for Madison's court case is finally in its real stages. This past week, we started the deposition of her court case. So everyone was in Bill's office and they had a recording for the court, but no judge. It was Bill, Naomi, Mike, and Madison. Now, first of all, this was a bit of a cop out. I was really hoping that we would see a courtroom like they stay in Garland Memorial. Can we get a courtroom, please? Like, I would love to have seen this play out in real time. Like, I want Madison on the stand. I want to give full law and order when it comes to this. Okay. Like, let's dive fully in. Bill is supposed to be this amazing lawyer. So is Naomi. I want to see them in action. Now, although they weren't physically in a courtroom, the deposition was spicy. Okay. Mike came in condescending with all of his mess. And although he was nasty, he had some interesting points. Now, when it comes to his case, his whole case is built on the fact that Madison never shut down her mother's blog. Now, y'all hit me in the comments and let me know how much control you have over your mother. Because as for me and mine, I can't tell my mama to do nothing. And I'm grown, but so is she. Okay. I will always be her daughter. And that's basically where Madison was coming from. She was like, I told her multiple times that I don't agree with what she's saying in that blog, but send her a cease and desist, tell her that she can't talk on there no more. She's my mother. I'm not going to do those things. So, of course, Mike is saying that she was negligent, and it is her fault that the plaintiff, her son went through those medical issues because Madison allowed her mother to have this blog. That's wild. Okay. Definitely something that Bill and Naomi can eat fully up in the court. Okay. Because absolutely not. But at the end of the day, they couldn't really get through anything because once it was time for Bill to start questioning Madison, he was already on his way to Strokeville. Like seriously, and that wasn't a sexual pun, y'all. Like medically, he's messed up. But yeah, this scene was spicy. It was good. It had all of that court heat that I was missing. And I'm looking forward to this process continuing. But who knows? Naomi may have to take over if Bill can't get it together. And if he really did have a stroke, then Mike can definitely use that to his advantage. Another clear indicator that Bill was not okay was his emotional status during the process. Even Haley had to comment and say, like, bro, you getting a bit emotional. Like, it seems like Mike is getting to you. And he was. I love the back and forth banter when it comes to the court case. If Naomi wasn't objecting, it was definitely Bill, and they was hitting him. Objection, objection, badgering the witness. Da 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 da. Like they were giving it to him, right? Until Bill hit him with the objection. I'm advising my client not to answer. That's an emotional answer, Bill. Like, no, we can't do that. We can't do that. And Mike ate that all the way up. He was like, "Oh, I can't wait for them to read that in court." Like, you just straight up told your client not to answer the question. That's not how court cases go. You were just mad that he asked a question that y'all wasn't prepared for. And instead of letting Madison answer, you threw yourself on the line and said, "Hey, we not doing that." Now, as a seasoned lawyer, I'm not mad. I'm not mad that he was like, "Nah, I'll follow my sword. I'm not gonna have my client, say some mess that's gonna mess her up." No, we're not doing that. But I don't know if his health issues was already starting to like ramp up around that time, but that answer was definitely out of pocket. Like, no, Bill, you can't do that. And poor Naomi, she was stuck because she's being second chair to Bill. Remember, she made Bill first chair when she decided to pay more attention to Jacob now that Jacob was home from his case. So, Naomi didn't want to overstep her boundaries, but I do see Naomi stepping up and being first chair in this court case moving forward. Because regardless of whether Bill actually did have a stroke or not, his emotional responses are going to be a problem for them when they continue this case. And if Bill doesn't step down, Naomi's going to have to overpower him because we don't need his health issues and his little wifey messing up Madison's career. Like she could lose her whole medical license. Like, nah, Bill, you're gonna have to move out the way and let Naomi wrap this case up. Naomi has finally unburdened herself. Oh my goodness, y'all. We have been dealing with Naomi having the BRCA gene for the longest, okay? We knew that she was positive for the BRCA gene before Anita even started her chemo process. She has been keeping this secret for a very long time. The only person that knew about it was Ashley. One, because she knew that she got her test results back and she badgered Naomi enough for Naomi to tell her the truth. Now, she's been pushing for Naomi to tell somebody in her family for the longest. But now that we're finally in a good place with Anita's recovery and Jacob is home safely from his whole undercover process, she's finally letting it spill out. She talked to Danny first and told Danny that she had the gene. And of course, Danny told her that she supports her and everything. But then Danny completely went rogue. Naomi straight up told her that she wanted to be the one to navigate her telling anybody moving forward. And at that moment, Ashley was the only person that knew. Danny assured her that she would let her handle the situation and she would be there to be her support system no matter what. Now, you know, Danny can't even take her own instructions. Okay. She immediately went to Garland to talk to Ashley. Now, I get it. I get it. She wants to have more insight on what Naomi has been dealing with, and Ashley is the only one that really knows. So she went to get some insight, and I completely understand that. Ashley didn't give her too much. She told her, like, yeah, Naomi knows what she's doing. We know that she's smart. We know that that's always been a thing of hers. Now, she told Danny that she wanted to be the one to tell Bill. But of course, Danny can't even resist a moment to have something to tell Bill. She can't resist having something to talk to Bill about. So of course, the moment she leaves Ashley, she looks at her phone and she goes to call Bill, but I guess being on the phone wasn't going to be enough. So she's probably headed to his office as we speak, which is going to be even more janky because Naomi is there dealing with the court case. If Danny walks into Bill's office and Naomi is there, Naomi is going to know exactly why she's there. She's going to try to weasel out of it or whatever, but Naomi is going to clock it immediately. And her doing that is immediately killing the trust that she just established with Naomi about this whole situation. Naomi didn't trust that Danny would be able to deal with this information or even let her deal with her situation the way that she would like. And Danny sat there and reassured her and said, "I'm going to support you no matter what." And yet, you're going against her wishes to go tell Bill. That's not your place, Danny. It's so annoying how Danny and Bill act like Naomi and Chelsea are five. Like, Naomi is a grown woman. She will tell her father when she's ready, just like she told her mother when she was ready. And Danny using this as an excuse to get back in front of Bill is janky. It's janky. She knows that that's not a conversation for her to Bill and to have. And yet she jumped on the first elevator to hop in her car to run to Bill to tell him what was going on. Thankfully, Danny wasn't the only one that Naomi unburdened herself with. She finally told her husband, Jacob, that she has this BRCA gene. Now, that conversation was obviously tough, but definitely needed. I was glad that Jacob reprimanded her and said, "Hey, you should have told me before now," but understood where she was coming from. If anybody knows their wife, it's Jacob. And Jacob knows that she was fully upset and scared and worried the entire time that he was undercover. So, although it annoyed him that she went all that time without telling him, he was understanding and eventually came around to telling her, like, yeah, I will always support you in anything that you do. And in his loving way, he was like, I want our love to last as long as Anita and Vernon's. And that means that you got to be healthy. So you let me know what I can do to contribute to your health in this process. And I just love Jacob. I just love Jacob. He is all for his wifey, and I'm so here for it. Now, she revealed why she was talking to Carlton, and we were able to find out that she's looking into having a double mastectomy. That means that she's basically removing both of her breasts in a prevention of getting breast cancer. Now, I understand, yes, you have the gene, and yes, you are more susceptible to the cancer. But to go this far with a double mastectomy is it's a lot. It's a lot. And of course, Jacob is like, "Yeah, I support you." She's going the right route because her doing it with a plastic surgeon, having a conversation with a plastic surgeon, means that she's probably going to get implants or something to where you can't really tell that she's taken out the mass. But it does reduce her chances of getting breast cancer significantly. Now, yes, that's good. But going through this major surgery before even having a drop of a diagnosis is a bit hasty. I don't know. Y'all let me know in the comments how you feel. Would you go to that route, that extent to keep from getting cancer? Um, I don't know. And this affects so much. So I'm glad that she's talking to Jacob about it before she fully pulls the trigger on it. I thought it was really interesting how we saw the comparison reactions of Andre with Danny and Jacob with Naomi, right? Here we have Jacob that's ready to do anything for his wife, and so is Andre, right? But Jacob is a little more passive to where he's like, let's talk about it. Andre is actually on the same mindset as Naomi, right? Naomi is saying, I want to get a double mastectomy. I want to do these preventative measures to make sure that I don't get cancer. Danny's approach is, I don't want to think about it. I've been eating well. I've been doing the tests. I've been making sure that I'm up on my mammograms and things. I'm not going to act like I have cancer until somebody tells me I have cancer. Right? Now, no one can be mad at that approach because yeah, like anticipating the worst is not always the best route to go. But Andre really wants her to approach it like Naomi. Like he's actually frustrated that she doesn't even want to have the conversation about preventative measures. And Danny is actually in a more understanding position to get those surgeries, seeing as her being older, she's already had kids, she's probably a bit more susceptible to cancer. So, we don't know what their levels are, but it was prevalent that Naomi is the one that's been way more forthcoming and intentional about her questions and her moves when it comes to preventing herself from getting cancer, as opposed to Danny, who is more just like, if it comes, it comes. I'll deal with it then. But if not, I don't want to think about it. And honestly, I'm on Danny's side with that. Like, I would probably not as oblivious as Danny is, because Danny loves to live in her own fantasy world. But I completely understand her saying, I don't want to deal with all of the doom and gloom, right? Of course, Andre is completely cautious. He's lost both of his parents. He just had a medical issue himself when it came to when he was in the tornado and that thing with his leg, right? Like he's cautious right now. And him thinking that she was in that elevator by herself still. He's cautious about her life and he's afraid to lose her. Both of them are afraid to lose their wives, and both of the wives are afraid to lose themselves, right? Let me know in the comments what you think about the Danny versus Naomi situation. Like, would you approach this situation like Danny, like if it comes, it comes, or would you be like Naomi? Now, you can't tell me that Tomas knows Cat. He doesn't understand who Kat is or who she wants to be or who she is to her family at all. Okay. When she gets released from the hospital, he planned the surprise welcome home party for Kat at the Grand's house, right? Now that's all fine and dandy, but you didn't even have Ted and Nicole be there at the hospital to walk her out when she was done, when she was discharged. Like, Kat was straight up looking for them. It didn't have to be the whole family, but he could have at least had Ted and Nicole with him and they went back to the Grand's house. Like for him to fully kind of push the family to the side and be like, "Oh, I know what's best for Kat. I'm gonna plan this party. I'm gonna do these things." Da 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 da. Is once again outside of knowing what Kat wants. He does not know what Kat wants because Kat was definitely like, "Oh, we can't leave. My parents are coming." And he had to straight up tell her, like, no, they're not coming. Like, it's just me and you. And you could see the twinge of disappointment. Like, of course, when she walked into the Grand's house and saw that they were there, it was like, oh, great. Like, yay, a party for me. Everyone loves me. But he almost got messed up in that moment. He better be glad that it was a party because Kat wanted Ted and Nicole at that hospital, as she should. Those are her parents. Now he messed up again by interrupting Vernon to propose to Kat. You don't interrupt the head of the family when he's making a speech. Like, there was some dead space already. All he had to do, first of all, he should have informed Vernon that he was going to propose. So then Vernon could be on his side and maybe even set it up a little better for him. But for him to straight up say, "Oh, Vernon, I got something to say," and everybody was like, "Hold on, bro. Don't be doing that." Like yeah, he almost got. Like Anita, even Kat herself was like, "Hold on, babe. We don't interrupt Grand. That's not what we do here. Like, I'm gonna need for you to sit all the way down." But Vernon, he was like, "All right, I get it. Like, you go ahead and do your thing." He gave her this lackluster proposal. And yeah, she had to excuse them. Vernon was like, like, we should give y'all some space. And Kat was like, nah, y'all stay. We're gonna go. And she went to that lobby, the vestibule, and got him all the way together. Kat straight up told Tomas that they are not ready. It's not the right time. And although you feel some type of way because you almost lost me, you didn't. Okay? Like, I'm not gone. We still have time. We need to build as a couple and we can progress to that, right? And he agreed. He was like, "Fine, it's all good." Of course his ego was hurt, but apparently he was good. He mustered through the party and they were good. At least that's what we thought, right? Now, this man, instead of going to Nicole, going to Andre, going to Bill, this man decides to go to Eva. He goes to Eva's apartment to vent about his situation with Kat. And of course, Isaiah opens the door. Isaiah wasn't having it. Like, he was like, "What do you want?" And once Eva saw that it was Tomas at the door, she was like, "Let him in. It's all good." They have a kiki. Isaiah left to give them some privacy because he knew they needed to talk. He went to, get her some food or whatever. Tomas bought Eva a book from one of their favorite authors, Blast from the Past, because that's how they got involved in the first place. And Isaiah was straight up like, "I got her the book." She showed the book, like they already had the book. Isaiah had already read the book. And in the process of trying to converse with him and be nice, Tomas is like, "Whoa, no spoiler alerts. I haven't even read it yet." Whose fault is that, bro? Isaiah's over here trying to make conversation and you behind per usual, right? So whatever, Isaiah lets them have a moment. In the midst of Tomas telling Eva that Kat turned him down for a proposal, she clocks him immediately. Like, bro, this is deja vu. You were coming to me before when when you and Kat were having issues with y'all relationships in a sexual situation, right? When they were having problems in the bedroom. And what did that lead to? Them sleeping together. Yeah, even Thomas slept together when him and Kat were having issues. So when you're having issues, you come to Eva. And thankfully, Eva was like, "Bro, Kat would not want you to be here. And that's never happening again. Don't disrespect me. And don't think that our friendship will ever be there again." Like, what did you think this was, Tomas? And for him to tell her that she was his only friend, bro, you need to get out more. It would have been better for him to even talk to Bill about this. Like, you going to Eva was completely disrespectful and ridiculous. And Kat said, "Dang, I didn't want to agree with Eva, but I sure do. You messed up by going to her." And that's not even where the issues ended. Kat decided that they're not ready for marriage, but now they're ready to move in with each other. She straight up hits up Vanessa immediately and is like, "Oh, I want to buy this condo." Kat, in what world? In what world does it make sense to anybody to move in with their significant other after they denied their proposal for marriage? Isn't isn't marriage supposed to be the point? If you don't want to marry somebody, why would you move in with them? That doesn't make any sense. And of course, she threw her money in, like, "Oh, I got the money. That's not a problem. I just want us to be close." Da 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 da. And Tomas wasn't having that. Tomas was like, "Yo, I don't want to be a kept man. I want to be able to take care of my woman." And I respect him for that. I do respect him for that. Like, you're not going to play him and be like, "Oh, well, we could just shack up." She trying to make him Stedman to her Oprah. Nah, bro. That's not the role he's trying to play. He's trying to be the man in the house. And I get that. I get that. Let that man be a man. And him saying, I completely agree when he was like, we need to get a place together. Like, if we're going to live together, we need to choose the place together, furnish together, make all the decisions together. This is our home. And I completely agree. It never works well when somebody has to move into someone else's space, right? Because even the person that owns that space, yes, you can be generous and open and want their opinion and all that, but when it gets down to it at the end of the day, if it becomes a disagreement or end all be all decision, it's going to be the person whose name is on the deed, on the mortgage, on the rent, on the lease that makes the final decision. And if it's not both of y'all names, then it's never going to be both of y'all's decision. So I completely understood where he was coming from. I think Kat is definitely rushing into this whole situation. I think she's trying to grasp on to something that's no longer there, honestly. I think her refusing the proposal should have been a moment for her to reevaluate the relationship fully. Her thinking that they're still a great couple, yet she can't even fathom being engaged to him. Because it's not like they had to get married tomorrow. Like they could have been engaged for a while. But she don't want to marry that man. I need for her to get this, okay? I need for it to click for her. You don't want to be with this man. Can we stop with the back and forth so that you can be free and find a man that you actually do want to be with? It's okay. Tomas gonna go to Puerto Rico. He gonna run into his high school sweetheart, and that's gonna be the end of it. Because he's so desperate for love and affection that he done went to Eva. He gonna go somewhere else. And you know what? Stay there because you don't need to be with Kat anyways. It was definitely good to see Eva recovering well. She was definitely the hot commodity this week. Okay, Tomas came over, Leslie, Darlene came over, Jacob came over. Like everybody's checking on Eva. I'm here for it. Okay. We're just glad that she's in recovery, doing well. Isaiah is not playing no games about his girl. Okay. Like she couldn't even take a walk outside without him being like, we ain't doing that. We ain't doing too much. She had to beg him for a walk outside for some fresh air. And she definitely said, like, I know like you snatched me right back in here, but I'm not even mad. I'm just happy that I was able to be out for a second. And we know she got a whole new liver, a piece of a liver at that. So she's dealing with a lot of medical things, making sure that her body doesn't reject the piece of liver, making sure that the liver starts to actually generate and grow within her. So, she's dealing with a lot, but she's in very good hands. Isaiah is not playing any games about her. Okay. Very cute. When Darlene came over, it was a breath of fresh air. Like she brought over her famous baked potato soup and some lemon bars. Like apparently Darlene is that mom, right? She loves through her cooking. So it meant a lot for her to bring in that food. Even Jacob pointed out, like, bro, she brought food over. You know, mama don't cook for everybody. So that means that she's extending her olive branch. Isaiah is still side eyeing her for it. He's still saying, like, she's just playing nice. Like, we'll see if she keeps it up. But I'm gonna need for him to give her some grace. Okay. He needs to give her some grace. She is really trying. And Isaiah, he's obviously made his own decisions about his family time and time again, which, he's the youngest brother, he's the youngest sibling. So they usually get a lot of leeway. And it's obvious the way that he acts with his dad, his mom, Jacob, everybody, right? So, yeah, we'll see if he's fully able to accept Darlene's acceptance of Eva. But I'm glad that he's there to be there for Eva. Like he's not going anywhere. He's been protecting her. He's been keeping Leslie at bay. Like they really are a really cute couple. Like this is cute. I guess. I guess. Eva and Isaiah are doing so well that they got mommies playing nice. What? Leslie was at Eva's apartment when Darlene dropped off her famous baked potato soup. And although she was a bit condescending, per usual, they ran into each other again, not that same day, but another day at the coffee shop. And Leslie actually made nice. She was talking to Darlene. She asked her about her baked potato soup recipe. She was like, "Oh, it tasted good. Eva loved it. I want to be able to make it." And Darlene was so taken aback. She even said, like, "Oh my gosh, you actually sounded human when you said that." We're all shocked, girl. We're all shocked. Leslie is really trying to turn over a new leaf, I guess. She understands that she does not want to lose Eva. And now Eva and Isaiah are a package couple. And Darlene feels the same way when it comes to Isaiah. So we may actually see a new friendship come along with these two. Now, friendship might be a stretch because Darlene definitely cares more about the Duprees than the Thomases. But I do think that they're able to be cordial and, maybe even a little friendly when they're in front of the kids. So that was an interesting conversation. I'm interested to see what happens between these two, right? Obviously, Leslie can't hold up this mess for long. Like this whole nice guy, da 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 da, like we all know who the real Leslie is. And her saying that she's turned over this new leaf and she's trying to be more positive and nicer, like, we'll believe it when we see it in real time, right? Like, this is cute, but Eva just stepped out of that hospital. Let's see how she really acts when things actually start going crazy again, when things are no longer going her way, right? She feels all blessed and saintly because her prayers were answered with Eva. But we'll see how long this Saint Leslie lasts. Leslie had quite a few conversations this past week, and one of them was with Dr. Monica. Dr. Monica told her that Garland was straight up cutting ties with the clinic, right? And Leslie was like, "No, like please, if this is for personal things, like Shanice and I have squashed our issues. We do care about the community. Like, please, let's figure this out." And Dr. Monica in that same moment was like, "Oh, I was just testing you. I'm not cutting ties with the clinic. Like, we can work together and figure this out." Why so quick? Goodness, I wanted her to make Leslie sweat for a while. She's been so nasty to Shanice and the other people. And for Dr. Monica to cut ties with the clinic makes sense. That's where Grayson was getting the extra plasma from. Like, it makes sense for her to cut ties with the clinic, and yet she didn't. I don't know. We'll see how that storyline goes. But I wanted her to make Leslie sweat a little more. Leslie also talked to Jacob. She went to the police station looking for Marcel, but Marcel wasn't there because when does he ever really work? He was probably off doing someone else's dirty work. But in the process, she talks to Jacob and she asked Jacob to look into Dr. Monica because she doesn't know her and she doesn't want to deal with the same mess that she dealt with Leah, with trusting Leah. And she ended up being, part of the plasma ring. So she's like, "I don't want my clinic to be in any more jeopardy. Like, can you please look into it?" Of course, Jacob told her, "I am not your bodyguard. I am not your PI. Like, you need to go and get out of here." But when he talked to Smitty later, he straight up told Smitty that Leslie is no longer on the impaler possibility list because of that conversation. The fact that he actually did believe that she had real genuine concern for the clinic shows that she wouldn't be running a plasma ring through it with those type of concerns, right? So he straight up crossed her name off the list as a prospect for anything blood plasma. And so that conversation played well for her. She's in the clear in Jacob's name, and it seems like people still want to support the clinic. Now, my question is, who's running the clinic? Because Eva's been in the hospital forever and Derek's deceased. So who's running the clinic? Leslie's so worried about Monica. You need to be worried about replacing Eva because who's running the clinic? Tyrell and Jessica seem to really be establishing this storyline of them being together, right? At first, they were just two, young lovebirds, but now they've graduated high school. They're going to two different colleges. She's going to college on the other side of the country, and he's heartbroken about it. He is actually in a process of trying to convince her to go to Banneker with him as opposed to UCLA. In one of his desperate attempts to connect with Jessica, he decides that they should get a tattoo. Child, these two youngins, they done got a tattoo. And of course, Jessica, Miss Unapologetic and low key almost disrespectful, straight up goes to Martin and Smitty's house when they're done and shows everybody. She got it on the outside of her ankle. She got a quote about strong women, cute, whatever. Tyrell shows everybody as well, and he has a J on the outside of his ankle. Now, everybody is convinced that the J is for Jessica, but he tells everyone that the J is for June. When Smitty told June that that was the situation, June was like, my son is obviously pulling one over on y'all. Like, that J is obviously for his girlfriend Jessica. That ain't got nothing to do with me. Then Tyrell and Samantha show up to Orphe Jeans, and he gives June a picture, a framed picture of him at his graduation. And she talks about how proud she was to watch him walk across the stage and to see him graduate and to see him progress and grow. So she was at the graduation. So his relationship with June is definitely strengthening, which was nice to see. It was great to see June back on our screen. We done missed her for a while. She got a new 27 piece and she is too cute per usual. Okay. But it was cute that Terrell actually is embracing his relationship with his mother again. And I kind of do think that that tattoo is for June. That J does stand for June. Like he's finally getting back around to, okay, although she messed up a lot, this is my mother and I do love her. Let me know in the comments what y'all think. Was that J for June or was it for Jessica? It could be for both. I mean, he was smart with just getting Jay. If he would have got fully Jessica, he couldn't, get out of it. But I mean, Jay could be for Jesus in a few years. Who knows? Martin and Smitty seem to be quite happy and rejuvenated. They've gone on their family trip to the Bahamas with the kids. They've seen Tyrell graduate. Martin won his election. He's looking into running for Senate. Smitty finished his story on the plasma ring, and that is actually doing really well. His boss has nominated him for an award, and she wants to do a deeper expose on the story. So everything is going well with these two. His boss, in the same breath of saying that he's doing amazing and has nominated him for this award, also asked him how he feels about continuing with these hard hitting low key dangerous storylines. And he's like, I'm a journalist. I want to keep doing the stories. I want to keep doing the things. And she hits him with, well, Samantha is still in the house and in school. And Martin is running for this reelection. Like, will you have the time and will you have the leeway to have those conversations? And Smitty is like, yeah, I'm a journalist, but I'm not going to be talking about my man's campaign and all that. Like, no, you're not gonna get no dirty exclusives from me. Like, understand that I am a journalist and it's gonna be professional, and that is that. And his boss was like, I don't want the scoop. Like, I'm gonna need for you to be ready to talk about any and everything. So we see that coming up. I think that's foreshadowing because when Martin does run for Senate, he just won his place in Congress again. But when he runs for Senate to be senator, Hmm, we gonna see what steps Smitty takes to either keep their privacy or to be the one to give the first scoop, right? So it's definitely gonna be coming back up for sure. Smitty also talked to Jacob for a second, and Jacob reassured him. He told him that Leslie was no longer on the list, but because of that, they're back at ground zero. Like the guy that Ren told him was possibly the impaler, that was a dead end. So they're trying to figure out once again how to find this impaler. And Jacob is not going to let it go. His best friend is gone, right? Like it's more than just solving the case now. Now he has to avenge Derek. So this that whole conversation is going to continue as well. I think we're going to start seeing Smitty in a lot more dangerous territory storylines, and we'll see how Martin deals with that because he already wasn't with it with the whole blood plasma thing. So we'll see how far that actually goes. For me, the worst brother award still goes to Martin. Okay. He's still the worst brother. The way that he treated Kat in that whole situation when it came to her deciding whether she was going to give Eva a part of her liver or not. And rightfully so, he has been feeling very guilty since everything went down. Kat went to Martin's house and had a conversation with him to where she started off saying that she wanted to apologize to him. What? What? Why are you apologizing to him, Kat? You have nothing to apologize for. And thankfully, Martin set that straight and was like, nah, I'm apologizing to you. I was messed up for the way that I came at you. He even apologized to her about gaslighting her when it came to Eva, spending all that time with Eva and making her feel less than in their sibling relationship. And yes, yes, that needs to be a conversation between her and Ted as well. But that hasn't been a thing yet, so we'll see. Ted hasn't said anything since he was moping and licking his wounds at the welcome back party when he saw Nicole with Kyle, right? Shanice showed up, so he was all good. But, he needs to apologize to Kat as well. But at the end of the day, Martin and Kat are back good. They done had their brother sister moment, and all is forgiven for now. Okay, we'll see how long that lasts. Because Martin has proven time and time again that he is not Team Cat. So we'll see how long it is before he drops the ball of supporting Cat again. It's only a matter of time. Ted's focus this past week was actually on Shanice. He had a whole conversation with Dr. Monica about the hesitancy that Shanice had when he told her about this elaborate date that he wanted to have with her on this yacht. And Monica tells him, look, Shanice is not from your world. Like she's good with the finer things. She can dress up with the best of them, but she likes simple. She likes intentional, personable things. So he decides to have an impromptu dinner with her at the hospital in his office. It was candlelit. There were, white tablecloths. And when he shows her the dish, it's the special from Orphe Jeans. Lackluster, in my opinion. But apparently, that's exactly what she wanted. She was so happy that she was able to have dinner with him in her scrubs in the office. And, to each his own. Okay. I would have wanted to get on that boat. When you're dating a rich man, it's time for you to start doing rich things. Shanice, you deserve the finer things. I mean, with her being the head nurse, she's always at Garland. Why would you want to date in the office? Like, I understand her wanting deeper intimacy with Ted for sure, but you can be intimate on a yacht. Girl, get it together. Okay. I need for Shanice to embrace the upper echelon version of herself. Like, Shanice has every range of being a regal, beautiful, rich woman as much as Nicole or anybody else. Even if she wasn't born into royalty, like, she can play that part quite well. So I just hate when she sells herself short like that. Like, girl, he always sees you in scrubs. That's your man. Don't you want him to see you in something else other than scrubs and lingerie? Like, put on a gown once in a while. It's Fairmont Crest. And Ted could order Orphe jeans and McDonald's in his office all day, but that's not always going to be the case. Baby girl, he is a plastic surgeon. He's on the board at Garland. Like, there's going to be times when you're going to have to dress up. So hopefully there's a balance and she understands, and he understands. But I don't know. Y'all let me know. Are they actually moving in the right direction or are they stagnant and weird? I don't think this is going to last too long. Mona and Jan had their Kiki moments in Orphe Jeans, and it was informative. It was entertaining per usual. Jan was going on and on about her mystery man, Owen. Who is this man? Who is Owen? She's been talking about Owen for months. She met this man on some random cruise, and now she's borderline in love. She's in love. Who is he? Bring that man to the front. I need Dante and Owen to the front right now, okay? Because at this point, we gonna have to start filling in the blanks. Who is it? Is it Carlton? Is it Kyle? We know it's not Joey because she knows Joey, and she's always talking about Joey and Vanessa together. But who is Owen? We need to know. But they both had great advice for Kat when Kat told them that she was looking into Tomas and her moving in together, and she felt bad about turning down his proposal. And they both were like, "Girl, you don't need a man to make you happy." And I'm on Jan's side. Jan was like, "You should be out here exploring it anyways." I mean, Kat is so stuck on Tomas simply because he's her first. She needs to go out and explore. She needs a new man. Everybody here needs a new man. Mona needs a man. Jan needs a real man because Owen is Casper the friendly ghost, and Kat needs somebody else other than Tomas. Let's can we replenish the men of Fairmont Crest, please? This is my request to the writers and producers. We need more men behind the gates. The ladies are waiting. Like, do better. Vanessa is in straight bliss about where her and Deanna are in their relationship right now. So she's told Vanessa that she wants to work at her realty company over the summer. And Vanessa is head over heels with it. Like, she's like, yes, she's already put Deanna on the case for helping Kat close her condo. Like, she's fully put Deanna in full swing. And Joey ain't with it. Joey's like, she's gonna find out that I'm still doing money laundering during in your company. Like, he's straight up paranoid about her being so close to his business. And honestly, for good reason. We all know, we've seen the conversations between her and Doug, and we know that she is on a mission to separate these two. So his paranoia isn't wrong. Now, weirdly, he put Randy on the case. He told Randy to go talk to Deanna and feel her out. Randy goes and talks to Deanna. And in that process, he doesn't learn much. He just, you know, it's confirmed for him that she still does not like Joey and she's mourning her father still. So that's pretty much the only information that he gave Joey. Am I the only one that felt like the conversation between Deanna and Randy was a bit weird? Like, it was giving a bit flirty almost. Like, it was just like, hold on, we don't want to go down that path, okay? Because if he was Doug's best friend, then that age gap is absolutely unacceptable. Absolutely unacceptable. And if you watch my live, I went live last week about this, and we got into a whole tiff about timelines and ages. Like, how old is Randy? If he's best friends with Doug, does that mean that he's like in his 50s? Like, but when he hangs around Haley and Lynette, it seems like he's like late 30s, early 40s. Like, we don't know exactly what his age is, but at the end of the day, his age is too old for Deanna, period. Okay. And he knows that it was an uncomfortable situation because even when Joey put him on the case, he was like, "Do you think I'm the best one to talk to her? Like, is this really the best route to go?" No, it wasn't. It was weird. It was a weird conversation. And hopefully that's as far as it goes. Like, he doesn't need to be Deanna's confidant. She's already confused, and I don't need that line blurring at all. So, nah, cut that out immediately. Anita's surgery was a success, and we got this sickening slick pixie cut again this past week. I love when Anita gives us this cut. It's just, mm, it's so good. Her bone structure, Anita is gorgeous, period. Okay. But this slick pixie, ooh, I understood when Bernie was like, I'm just trying to get my hands on you, girl. Like, I'm just trying to have some quality time. I'm trying to get some time with you." Kat told them that she was moving out. And it was cute to see that moment with her and Kat. Like they were like, "Oh, we're like, we've become besties and we've had some great moments while she's lived there." And Vernon was like, "I loved our granddaughter here, but I'm so excited she's going." One for her, because yeah, we want her to be comfortable in life and we don't want her hiding out in our house. But also, I want you to myself. I want us to enjoy this house and to be able to have free reign and do what we want. And he ain't wasting no time loving on his wifey. Mm, I love me some Anita and Vernon. You can't make me mad about Anita and Vernon. Okay, period. They are the staple when it comes to love. And I just love seeing Anita getting healthy and looking amazing. We saw in the forward for this coming week that the articulates are going to come and they're going to ask her to come on tour with them. And I hope she does. I hope she does. Like Anita deserves it. She's been through so much since all of this um breast cancer situation. Like I'm just glad that she's fully, almost recovered. They may still have to do some radiation, we'll see, but at the end of the day the surgery's done, the chemo's done. She's on her way out of it and I'm just so I'm so happy for that. I'm so happy that she's doing so good cuz yo, if we would have lost Anita, you would have lost me. I'm just saying. I'm just saying, ain't no way Anita's going anywhere in my book, okay? And I'm ready for us to get back to the articulate storyline, okay? I need the articulates to find out that what Leslie's really been up to. We need Dante Green. Once again, bring Dante Green to the front. Like there's a lot going on. And then they're about to record this EP with Barbara's vocals on it. And Leslie gonna be all up and through that. So we got some good drama coming with this. So I'm glad Anita's getting strong so we can keep it going. This was such a great week beyond the gates. I really enjoyed this past week. Some of y'all were upset that it wasn't as dramatic. Let's remember this is a soap opera, okay? Slow burn is the way to go. We've got a lot of new storylines coming up. We've wrapped up a lot of things. So, we just got to keep it pushing. They are giving us a fast paced storyline. I mean, Andre has gone from being almost impaled to just having a little wrap on his leg playing basketball. So if he can heal that fast, then the storylines can go fast, right? Right? Okay. So we're definitely moving at a great pace. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hit me in the comments. Let me know how you felt about everything that I've said. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and share. And make sure you're looking out for my lives. I have been going live on Wednesdays and Fridays. And I do believe that I'm going to continue that process. I really enjoy talking to you guys in real time. So look out for those. And I will see you here every week beyond the gates.